headlines, we're going to welcome in accounting professor at Montclair State University, Dan Geltrude. Good morning, Dan. Let's get to those markets. So they closed up on Friday with major averages each notching their third straight positive week. But let's get back to OpenAI and Sam Altman. So Altman was a major force behind the AI language tool ChatGPT, with the company receiving billions of dollars in investments while he was CEO. Now, his surprise firing outraged both investors and company partners. Now, Microsoft has announced that they're hiring him to lead new advanced AI research. Dan, do you see the OpenAI board maybe regretting their decision to fire him? I mean, what does this mean for tech right now?
Well, we have to look at two things. Why did they do it and how they did it? So the why. They felt that Sam Altman was simply moving too fast and that there was too much risk associated with what he was doing with AI. Now, how they did it? Well, the board never warned anybody. They didn't tell anyone. They just did it. And of course, Microsoft, being a significant shareholder, had something to say about it in terms of being very unhappy and turning around and hiring Altman. So the irony here is that the board did the same thing that they were accusing Altman of, is moving too fast and recklessly. So, I mean, what do you say about that? But look, the bottom line here is that there are dangers related to AI, to humanity. So we do have to move forward carefully. But this whole thing, a debacle.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's move on to social media. So now even more companies announced that they're suspending advertising on X after ads for the brands were allegedly being promoted next to anti-Semitic content on that site. So the latest companies crossing out X include Disney, Apple, Lionsgate, and even the European Union, among others. Dan, there is a lot surrounding this story. So Reuters is now reporting that Elon Musk is now suing media watchdog Media Matters for misrepresenting the ads, misrepresenting his company. There's a lot going on here. What's the latest? And will more companies make the exodus from X? I mean, how will this impact it?
Well, the quandary here is that when you're talking about free speech versus hate speech, so there's a price to be paid when you're allowing hate speech. Look, when you have pro-Nazi posts, you got to realize there's going to be consequences to that. So on the other side, you do have right-wing companies that are saying we are going to take more advertising on X to make up for that. So listen, this is a challenge across the board for all social media companies. Where do you draw the line on the First Amendment? So Elon Musk is committed to the First Amendment, right or wrong, and this is the direction he's taking.
Yeah, once again, he is doing a massive lawsuit against Media Matters over all of this. So this is going to be very interesting to follow. So more and more Americans are filing for bankruptcy in order to offload their student loan debt after a three-year payment hiatus. Now, this coming after the Biden administration lowered the bar in discharging federal student loan debt by filing for bankruptcy. Now, the Department of Justice is expecting a major uptick in this new trend. So, Dan, is filing for bankruptcy maybe the smart way to pay off student loan debt? Will everyone be following this trend?
Well, we're going to have to see what plays out over time, but let's go to the core of what this is about. One, it's careless borrowing. I understand that colleges and universities just cost way too much, but nobody has a gun to your head saying you have to go to these places. There is a way to manage your borrowing and your educational costs. People are ignoring that. So now the current administration has made it easier to be able to use bankruptcy to get out of paying for your loan. So will more students do that? I presume they will, because they are trying to get out of repaying money that they rightfully borrowed.
Exactly. This is just a disaster, especially all of us who have already paid back our loans or paid off everything, and now these people are kind of getting out of it, which is a little frustrating, but that's another topic. Okay, so finally, SpaceX's Starship rocket reaches space, but was intentionally destroyed mid-flight after just 7 minutes following an unknown issue. So Elon Musk is committed to pouring billions into SpaceX with this flight, one more step towards the company's goal of commercializing space travel. So, Dan, what does this mean for SpaceX, and when can we take a trip into outer space?
Well, first of all, Elon Musk destroyed this flight for safety concerns. So that's what happened here. Now, Elon Musk is very much determined to be able to create commercial space travel. How long it's going to take, I don't know, but I'm going to predict this, Alex. At some point, it will happen. So if you want to reserve your ticket, maybe you can get in line for that.
I personally do not. Dan, would you go?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like flying all that much to start with, let alone going into space.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But Dan Geltrude, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Alex.
All right.